Today, in the nerdy news you need to know about, GameStop says they won't increase their Game Pass sale prices. A Dungeons & Dragons game has been canceled, and EA has a plan to cut costs. It's AI. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday, October 2nd, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Forbes 30 Under 30, a.k.a. New York Game Awards nominated, a.k.a. Blessing in Burnt Orange.
Burnt
Blessing
Orange.
Adeoye Jr.
Good day, Greg. How's it going?
It's great. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is this a new coat?
I mean,
Is this actual suede?
Fun fact: this is the one. I'm pretty sure I've said this either to you or Tim. This is the one that Yusuf McGee wore on, I think, the first Ubisoft forward that he did.
I remember hearing this. I think Tim asked a similar thing.
Yeah, and he was like, "Well, he's trying to get rid of it." I was like, "I'll take that off you."
It's a great jacket.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I need to get it smaller though. I feel like it's like slightly.
Really? Stand up. Let me see.
Hold on. I feel like it's like I don't know, slightly loose in a way that I don't like. I wish it was.
Okay, I can kind of see it.
So it might go in the dryer. I don't know. I got to figure out a way to like get this to tighten up a little bit.
So it's not real suede. Suede can't go in the dryer.
Oh, I don't know.
I think you're kind of stuck.
You think I know my laundry materials?
Jacket.
Oh, never mind then.
And yeah, Captain Scullybone says just get fat. That is the way to do it.
No. I'm going to the gym too much to give it all up.
Yeah,
I'm in the flow. I've done too much work so far.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Bless, the weekend is in sight. How are we feeling? What are we gonna be gaming? What's gonna be happening?
I'm going to a birthday party.
Oh, for
Saturday. For the one and only Ben Miller.
Are you gonna get wasted?
Oh, yeah,
Do a cake stand?
Oh yeah, we're getting so drunk at 11 in the morning or whatever time it is.
Woo! Yeah.
Oh man, I got that. I got a board game night that I'm going to.
Nice.
That I'm excited about.
How much Magic we playing?
That one's not going to be a Magic one. That's
Okay.
going to be more so of just like, casual, like probably social deception games.
Okay.
There's a game called Blood on the Clock Tower.
Okay.
That is think like Werewolf or Mafia,
Sure,
but
sure,
it's
sure.
like way more, I said casual. And actually that one's way more like a hardcore version where the like DM or like, the person who's overseeing it,
running the game.
they have like a tomb, like a big book that they're like looking into. There's like a bunch of different scenarios and a bunch of different roles that people can
cool.
play. And yeah, like it's a very in-depth version of one of those.
Okay.
Usually that's what this group plays, and so like I'm sure we'll probably get into that. I think this is the same group where I learned The Mind. That's where I first,
Mind. Hell yeah.
That's where I first played that, and so we'll see. It's usually random or whatever gets busted out, but excited for that. And then I got plans to see One Battle After Another on Sunday.
Okay, very cool.
I've
You doing your matinee? Is this the matinee thing you pitched?
I was gonna do matinee,
Yeah.
and then one of my friends in my friend group chat, somebody came in and was like, "Yo, you watched this yet?" And I was like, "No," and they're like, "Trying to see it?" And I was like, "Well, you trying to come to this theater during matinee hours?" And they were like, "No, because I have an AMC membership." So I ended up being like, "You know what? Let's do it. We'll go to Metreon. We're gonna watch this thing." And so big weekend ahead of me.
Looking forward to that.
What about you? What you got going on?
The Ben birthday party, of course. The big 04. He's 4 years old, so that'll be a big one.
Wow.
My dad and his partner have been in town all week, so I've been running them around, and not even really. They've been entertaining themselves, working on my house for me. That's very nice. Yeah. And then my mom and her husband get in today, so it's like I'm all hands
everybody's
on deck.
coming out for the fourth birthday.
You got to. You know what I mean?
Wow.
You don't get these back.
I feel like age 4 is a special one.
Yeah?
Because I feel like my earliest memories that I can glean are at age 4. Like I have,
Really?
I
Okay.
have distinct memories of people being like, this is a very specific memory of somebody being like, "How old are you?" and me putting up the 4 sign.
Yeah, hell
like that's
yeah.
probably like the earliest memory etched in my brain.
Yeah.
And so this is where it starts. This is where he becomes truly sentient.
Good. I like that. He's like, what a great time. He's every morning wants to swing these goddamn lightsabers around. So we got that going for us.
Oh, dude, I saw the pictures.
Yeah.
Or
Really
videos.
nice.
Whatever. It was cool.
Shout out to Justin T. Morris, kind of funny best friend, making Ben his own lightsaber. Because remember my Force Unleashed one, Justin T. Morris, that made me the lights up, chases all the sounds, has proton pack noises. He made Ben one that's small, Ben sized, very cute.
It's really cool.
Yeah. So he every day, every morning, and every night wants to play with this goddamn lightsaber.
Has he seen Star Wars, or does he have an interest in Star Wars?
We have made it through the first 40 minutes of Star Wars Episode 4.
Oh,
A New Hope.
4.
A New
Okay.
Hope. We started. I mean, there was a long discussion in the community about how to do this.
Yeah.
And so I just went theatrical.
Wow.
And so it is a slower start of a movie for a kid.
Yeah.
And so he falls off. He likes Lego Star Wars a lot, so we play a lot of that. And he likes lightsabers. He enjoyed running around, the Star Wars land. It's Disney. What's the word? What's Galaxy's Edge? He really enjoyed Galaxy's Edge. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Has Barrett told you about like the Star Wars Cartoon Network cartoon that he loves? That I know was like a hit back in the day.
Well, I'd watch not Clone Wars, right? Yeah.
I think Clone Wars is the one.
Oh yeah, no, I've watched Clone Wars, and I think Clone Wars is a bit too adult for him right now.
Gotcha.
Like what I mean, for not knowing anything, and it's also like when I show him Superman, when I show him some movie that I know really well, I can warn him about the scary parts. Even New Hope, something scary is about to happen. Whereas like Clone Wars and Grievous and fucking Darth Maul disconnected and reconnected. It's like,
you know what? That's fair.
There's going to be things we take turns here that I'm not fully prepared for because I only watched season 1 of the Clone Wars or whatever.
Fair
but today we tossed on Star Wars Young Jedi or whatever the heck the cartoon on Disney Plus is. They got a kid.
Is that like a kid?
Yeah, they
cartoon?
got a kid one. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Enough about that though. Let's talk about video games because this is Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every week down a variety of platforms, we run you through the nerdy video game news you need to know about live. YouTube.com/kindoffunnygames, Twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, podcast services around the globe. If you like that, we'd like you to pick up a Kind of Funny membership. $10 a month gets you all of our content ad-free. That's more than 80 episodes. And of course, your daily dose of me, Greg Miller, and a 15 to 20-minute podcast I do each and every morning in my car, which adds up to 4 hours of exclusive podcasts. On top of all that, you get good karma for supporting a small independent business in an increasingly turbulent media landscape. No bucks tossed our way, no big deal. Like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, ring the bell, turn on notifications, write a review. Of course, if you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime, give us that free 30-day subscription that doesn't auto-renew and they don't tell you about. We'd love to have it. If you want to go that extra mile, you can super chat right now to be part of the show. YouTube.com/kindoffunnygames, just like Leopard Cut did, who then redacted their message. And then Leopard Cut jumped back and said, not sure if you ever addressed this before, Greg, but how do you juggle screen time restrictions with Ben with your job? I don't review games in front of Ben. I feel like that would, we play Skate together, and I'm eventually going to do something with Skate as a review, I imagine. But like Ghost of Yote, he never saw me play, nor did I play that next to him. If I needed to play something and I could get away with it, I would use the Portal or the ROG next to him. But if that pops out, whatever Dad is doing supersedes what he's doing. So he will play a game and then look over and like, what are you playing? And then he'll start using the Portal even though he was happy playing something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in general, there's many a Greg way about this. The short version would go, he gets a cartoon in the morning when he wakes up and he drinks some milk and we have a coffee and we're waking up for the day. And then nothing at night generally. Maybe there'll be a movie night here or there. Movie nights 30 minutes while we eat tacos or whatever. And then weekends, usually there's a nice little golden hour there between 3 or 3:30 till 5 o'clock dinner time where we'll play video games in the basement.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. But it's different for everybody. Don't, judge me or worry about don't judge me or worry about if you should do that with your kid, whatever your kid can do. My kid's fucking awesome at video games, so no big deal about that. Over here, we got in the live chat, Apollo Creed, what about when you review ZA? Well, of course, I've been working really hard. As everyone knows, I am your reviewer for Pokemon ZA. Okay.
Are we like decided that?
We have.
Oh,
okay. As you know, the problem always
I don't think I was in the meeting.
The problem is always stemmed from Nintendo only giving us one code.
Sure.
I have it on pretty good authority that we might be getting 2 codes. So when that happens,
sure we will.
I will be playing the first code, of course, to make sure I have it, and then Ben will be playing the second one. To make sure.
Okay, cool, nice. We figured it out.
I'm just kidding. We won't get 2 codes. Housekeeping for you. Remember that Monday, October 6th. That's this Monday. It's Kind of Funny Games Daily 2000. That's 3 hours of shenanigans as we celebrate the 2000th episode of Kind of Funny Games Daily. Very, very crazy thing to say.
Yeah. Started in 2017. We're in 2025 now. That's 8 years of this show.
Yeah. When Joey turned to me months ago, I was like, hey, we got an email that we're coming up on 2000. I'm like, no, we're not. That's impossible. What are you talking about? And then you sat there and really did. It's been interesting to see people wake up in the chats live, and then there was a subreddit thread of, wait, the show's been going for 2,000 episodes? And people were like, I was watching this before COVID. And you're like, when you say it like that. Yeah, when you say it like that.
I've been, me and Raj have been working on the show, and I've been preparing the doc specifically. And I'm very excited because I hit a flow yesterday with the doc where now I'm looking at it. I'm like, I'm excited for this because it's the most KFGD thing, right? Like, obviously, Kind of Funny has so many shows that, like, I'm sure it can get homogenous. All of us are on everything, right? But each show kind of has its own identity as well. KHD, I think, has more identity than you'd even imagine, right? When you're looking at the history of it, when you look at the segments, when you look at the the Baker's Dozen and the Wii News and the amount of repeated rituals and the repeated traditions that we have here. And so I'm very excited for people to experience this because you're going to watch it and be like, damn, that was KFGD right there. That is something special.
And just don't think about how much this podcast beyond. Remember, we're an 11-person business all about live talk shows. Today, after Kind of Funny Games Daily, you're going to get a Gamescast that's all about Mike and Roger's Vegas vacation and the shenanigans they got up to with Steve Aoki. After that, after Gamescast is Tron 2 in review. And then the stream is going to be Mike and Bless playing some Magic with the new Spider-Man cards.
Yeah, very excited about
that. I might pop in and look around what's going on.
Hell yeah.
If you're a Kind of Funny member, today's Greg Way is 24 minutes, and it tackles the question, is Xbox Game Pass's value actually perfect?
Interesting.
Someone wrote in with the question. All right, don't come at me. Don't come at me, because that's the headline. They wrote in with that question. I answer it. I didn't say it. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney the Psalm Twining. Today, we're brought to you by Kind of Funny Games Daily, episode 2000, and our new merch. But we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news. 6 items on the Roper Report. Number 1, GameStop says it will continue to sell Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for $19.99 a month despite new price hikes. This is Robert Anderson at IGN. What a fucking world, Blessing, where GameStop's like, this is our chance. We're getting it all back. All the goodwill we are fucking getting back.
Oh, don't worry. I got shit to talk about GameStop.
Microsoft has recently increased the price of its Xbox Game Pass Ultimate memberships from $19.99 to $29.99 a month, while also renaming and updating its other membership tiers. In response, major U.S. retailer GameStop has stated on Twitter/X that it will continue selling Game Pass Ultimate at the old price, quote, in-store and online, end quote, sidestepping the increase for now. It isn't alone either. As IGN reported, Amazon is also still selling Xbox Game Pass Ultimate at $19.99 per month, and the same, at least for now, goes for Walmart, Best Buy, and Target. The key distinction is that GameStop has publicly confirmed it will continue selling Ultimate at the pre-hike price point, while the other major U.S. retailers have not commented and simply continue to list the subscription at the old rate. Xbox fans have suggested a potential explanation that GameStop and others may be selling through existing backlog of codes originally issued at $19.99. Physical Game Pass cards are typically printed with their own value shown, which could, in theory, make raising the price impractical for remaining stock. How this translates to online sales is less certain. Retailers typically distribute digital codes via automated systems rather than manually, which means prices could potentially be adjusted more easily if new stock were issued. How this applies to codes already supplied by Microsoft is still unclear. Without clarification from GameStop, it remains unclear whether the unchanged price is the result of logistics, old inventory, or simply a deliberate move to attract customers. The tweet itself reads, "We will continue to sell Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for $19.99 a month in-store and online." And then they got a fucking graphic. They got a graphic with a hand holding the card. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is still $19.99 with us. You're welcome. Available in store and online.
You're welcome.
Fuck, man?
You're welcome.
Pop, pop, pop.
Of course, we're doing this out of the goodness of our own hearts and not because $20 is written on the fucking physical thing.
No, this is totally their. This is them. This is their Tiananmen Square. All right, this is their stand.
Let's report back in a week when they've sold through the fucking Xbox Game Pass $20 Ultimate subscriptions that they have in their stock. And see, like, okay, are you still selling them at $20, or have you now switched up to the $30 because that's what you have now?
What is the? I want to see what the fine. What is? I'm gonna zoom here on the fine print thing. Oh no. Offer valid in store and online only at GameStop. Includes online multiplayer and hundreds of high quality games to play with friends on console, PC, and more. For one low monthly catalog over time by region. For details, okay, yeah. Huh. God bless GameStop. Like, what a fucking like.
I can't stand.
They just. Oh no! I mean, like again, like GameStop. Can you imagine being on life support this long? Like
crazy.
Life support this. Like you want to talk about people who have put dirt on their grave at least 7 times. And now they're fucking still here somehow, and they're rolling. They got the IV in their arm, and like, yeah, but fuck you, Microsoft. Fuck you, Game Pass. We're not going anywhere.
Do you see GameStop's like Twitter account like over the course of the last like year or 2 years?
I haven't. No.
I feel like they have on Twitter, on social media, they have sort of like a meme / like pro. This is gonna sound weird the way I say it, but like pro gamer sort of voice. In a way where it's like, oh, we're your buds though, you know, we're GameStop, oh, we're the cool guys, you know what I mean? Oh, you know, physical's where it's at. Everybody loves physical, right? Like, you guys are with us, yeah, buy physical games. You know, like, and then like in the back, they're like, all right, now kill Game Informer. All right, like, okay, now
how many Funko Pops can we put on the shelf?
How many Funko Pops can we? What else can we do? Like, you know, what else can we sell?
What's interesting? I'm back on GameStop's X page here, right? And when I had seen the headline, I hadn't had a chance to read the stories yet. I thought it was just going to be the quote tweet that I'd seen earlier, where when the news broke yesterday, discussing film had a tweet out that was the website to cancel Xbox Game Pass subscriptions is overloaded. This is after the news of the Ultimate membership going to $29.90 a month. GameStop quote tweeted, just said, "Welcome to GameStop."
I hate them so much.
And then they put up a meme here. Don't call it a comeback. This is right afterwards. They put up a standalone one. Don't call it a comeback. And it's a cartoon that says 2017. And this Game Pass is pretty good. I don't need you anymore, pal. And it's the guy throwing away the GameStop logo. And then 2025, GameStop going, or Xbox Game Pass going to 30. And the guy going, hello, old friend. And
okay,
GameStop.
You know what? That one's a little funny. I'll give him that. But for me, it's the thing you talk about, like, oh man, they're on the IV. They're slowly dying. They've just been kicking. And like, I think it's the thing where as they're dying, they're taking anything they can get. You know what I mean?
And then the one before this one, Game Pass. This is GameStop quoting the news from Mario 64. And they said, GameStop says Game Pass, $29.99 every month. Own nothing. GameStop, buy once, own forever. Math isn't that hard. Oh my God. Like, honestly,
you're turning around on social media.
If I was fucking Xbox, obviously I'd have so many more gray hairs and such a fucking headache from yesterday and everything that's happening. This would be the shit keeping me up at night. I'd be so fucking, I'm like, GameStop is dunking on us.
Golly.
Fucking GameStop is dunking on us.
I think why I keep the hater energy is because the only reason I think this is communication from them is, one, because they're GameStop and they're trying to get any goodwill they can. They're trying to get any semblance of, like, you know, gamers / video game players on their side.
Yeah.
But then also, like, they were doing this anyway. Like, you look at, there's the sentence in this article where they're talking about other major U.S. retailers have not commented and simply continue to list the subscription at the old rate. The reason they're doing that is because they still have all the old cards. Like, once they sell through those, the price is going up. GameStop is not doing this out of like any sort of like grandstand. They're doing this because, shit, okay, well, we're still selling the old stock. Yeah. So we're just going to use this as a marketing win real quick. Yeah. Before we're going to have to, like, you know, switch this.
You're 100% correct. Yeah. Correct, right? Because, yeah, when these are gone and they have to buy the new stock from Microsoft, it will be, in fact, labeled $29.99. And they will pay whatever their I fucked all this up. Whatever the gross net. Kevin, what am I thinking of here? They buy at cost. Whatever they buy at cost for before they put it out for a retail price or whatever.
And I'm not saying that like that's like some kind of like, you know, super deep insight or anything. I say that because that's why this shit annoys me. I just don't like it.
You're right, 100%. I mean, it's like, yes, it's annoying because everyone is doing this. So it's to go to fucking Walgreens, and if they're selling the cards for $20, buy the $20 card, right? Yeah. To get all set up for it. It's just funny to see GameStop doing it. Yeah. But I did check 2 tweets below. They had this Pikachu with a pumpkin. I'm gonna buy that.
Are you?
I love Halloween and I love Pokemon.
Oh, you know what? That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Should I become a pro member again?
No. Absolutely not.
Wait, hold on. It's Pokemon Week at GameStop, it says. Go check out all the fresh.
You know what other week it is at GameStop? Fucking Kill Game Informer Week at GameStop. I don't like them.
Listen, that worked out for the best. Well, now Van Aken's his own boss. you know what I mean? He's fine.
That is fair.
I mean, he's happy over there. Oh, they got a lot of Pokemon stuff.
When was the last time
Kevin, should we go to GameStop?
When was the last time you've been to a GameStop?
You know, it would be more recent than you think. There was a trip. The one over here is next to a Michael's or some craft store that I got pulled into with Ben and Jen, and then we went to GameStop, and then Ben bought the Shadow the Hedgehog over there.
Oh, that's cool.
And he loves Shadow.
Yeah.
He loves Shadow, man.
The thing I will say is that I do miss the days that I would go into a mall, and anytime, like, it was like high school, right, era, you're going to the mall because that's what you do as a high schooler.
Yeah, of course.
In Illinois, in central Illinois. And like anytime I make that beeline right towards GameStop and I look at that $10 bin and I'm like, what PlayStation 2 game am I gonna buy today?
What random crap am I
What
bringing
random
up today?
terrible video game? And then every now and then you would get a gem. You know, every now and then I would get a 7 Samurai 20XX video game that nobody's ever heard of or played.
Yeah.
But I play it and I'm like, damn, that's that shit right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every now and then I get
it's
MTV
more-
Music Generator too.
I mean, you know what? Actually, you know when I went to a GameStop too, it was an EB Games, which is still my shit.
Yeah.
But it was an EB Games up in Canada. Because in Canada, they still have all the old brands. So I went to Toys R Us with with Ben. And then, you know, they like the same shit. So it's very easy to confuse Ben and Tim.
Of course.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They're both about the same as good as Game Showdown too. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, fucking Team Blue, 3-time champion, led him to 3-peat, won the Nick Scarpino season. I got the most stars right now. Gonna be that way for a while. Anyways, went across the way.
You're supposed to have the most stars though.
Don't worry about it. I still do. It doesn't matter. It went across the way, and they were divesting their superpowers collection, the DC superpowers, and that was like dangerous because those are the toys I grew up with, and now they have the modern ones with the modern characters or whatever. I got out of there with just a Superman and Batman. Don't worry. But I spent money there. That was
Scary.
the last time I was there. It was scary. It was dangerous. I have a few super chats pertaining to everything we're talking about here, okay? Alex Frazier says, downgraded my Game Pass to premium after realizing I needed to play online. Still mad, though. Again, as we live here in a post $29.99 world, we will see how many people are coming down, what's happening. I want to talk about that in general, but I also want to bring in a few of these ones here. Mike wrote in and said, GameStop losing themselves money and propping up the service/digital games, putting them out of business is certainly a choice. Mike, you got to do what you got to do to keep the cash flow coming through the door. You know?
Yeah, they're in that mode. Like when you're that deep on the deathbed as a company, it's like, all right, throw anything at a wall and see what sticks, right?
Yeah.
Like say what you got to say, like do what you got to do.
What happened when they were doing like immersive experience
COVID.
stores? Remember? Oh, is that what? No, is it that long ago that they announced that?
I'm pretty sure it was like.
Man, I thought that was post-COVID.
I'm pretty sure it was like 2019,
Damn,
2020, where they're
Okay.
like, yeah, we're gonna do immersive stores, and then COVID hit, and then I don't know what happened from there.
Yeah. Fuck. Okay.
I'm surprised they're not like purely NFTs at this point.
Barista Brand super chats just to say, welcome to GameStop. We got your Funko trash. Remember when everyone loved Funko? And then one day we were all done.
Yeah,
we
whatever
were all
happened?
done.
Because I feel like Funko had like such a strong moment. I guess it was just overdone. Hot Topic probably killed it.
Yeah,
you walk to a Hot
probably.
Topic, you see the Funko wall, and it's like, all right,
Yeah.
cool. I guess I'll
Something
get
like
my
that.
fucking Yoda Funko.
There was this who I don't follow the entertainment news nearly as closely, but I feel like Funko Pop is like our version of Pedro Pascal. Where like there was this thing this weekend. Who was it? I forget who. Somebody was being interviewed and they said that like Walton Goggins is in line to be the next Pedro Pascal, where everybody loves him so much, but then they put him in everything and then people hate him.
No,
And I don't hate Pedro Pascal. I love Pedro.
because I'm in the. I don't hate Pedro Pascal. I just think he's wonderful, and like I think he
Agreed.
does great work.
Agreed.
But he
Amazing.
isn't. He isn't too much stuff. And for me, it's like I feel like Walton Goggins.
Pete Davidson said it.
Walton Goggins has like a lot. He has too much flavor. You know what I mean?
A lot of character.
Walton
Lot of
Goggins has a
character.
lot of character
I like
in a
Walton
way, and not
Goggins.
just that Pedro Pascal doesn't have character, but he gives main character in a way where I can only have so much of the same main character over and over again.
Yeah.
Walton Goggins gives like
He's
like a type of character. You know what I mean?
It's one of those, let's not be assholes. I'm
Yeah.
not being an asshole. But I feel like in the way Hollywood is using them, Walton Goggins gets to express his range.
Yes.
Where Pedro Pascal is like, you're Pedro Pascal. All right, what do you want me to do? Look sexy and have your mustache and then just talk.
Yeah, and just be a good actor.
No other accents or anything? No, just do your thing. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I feel Walton Goggins, I feel like, is a scalpel, whereas like Pedro Pascal is like
Sledgehammer.
he's sledgehammer / like he's that main tool. You know what I mean? He's the hammer. That's the old reliable. Like
Yeah.
you know what's gonna work. You know what's gonna hit the nail.
I just love it because I know you don't know shit about tools, and I was waiting for it all to fall. I don't either.
Well, you know, hammer's the most popular tool. You know what I mean? It's the most popular one. That's Pedro Pascal. He's the most popular one.
Bander SN Super Chat says GameStop needs to get Shu and Adam to do a collab with them. Here's how you own games. That'd be funny. That'd be
Yeah.
a good move.
Yeah.
Colin Berry becomes a member in Super Chats. Fuck GameStop for the shiny Corridon and Moridon distribution event that happened over the weekend. That's a personal affront. That's a personal assault. I appreciate it. And then Ryu Dan X says, love GameStop. I get my magic bundles there at the suggested retail price. So good for them.
Sell magic? Interesting.
Assume. Oh, Jordan Deeb comes in late and says, I worked at GameStop from 2015 to 2018. IMO, they should have doubled down on retro gaming to keep them relevant above water as more gamers do digital. Oh, God.
Fuck GameStop for the shiny Koraidon and Miraidon situation. This was not okay, Greg.
What happened? What happened?
It was one of the giveaway things where you need to like go to the store and they give you a code and then you get it's the only way to get the shiny legendaries, right? Mm-hmm. And they've been doing this for decades at this point for these goddamn shiny mythical creatures, all the goddamn things.
Sure.
And I walk in, they're just like, oh yeah, we're out. We've been out. I'm like, what do you mean you're out? Like, how is this possible? People just took them to sell on eBay. And it's like, you got to have a better way. And I looked at the way that the guy smiled at me when he said it. I'm like, you took them all. You're selling them on eBay, you little shit.
That's when you swing on them. You know what I mean? Should have swung on them. Tim's here, everybody. That's always exciting. I like that. Blessing, now that you've slept on it,
Yeah.
are you ready to agree with the person who wrote in on Gregway and said, Game Pass value is actually perfect?
Am I ready to agree?
Yeah.
You know what? Sure, why not? I'll go to the dark side. I love GameStop, guys.
No, not GameStop, Xbox.
I love
Xbox Game Pass.
GameStop. No, I love it all. I love all the evil corporations. You know what I mean? They're all great.
Fair enough.
Is that your transition, or are you just asking that?
No, I was just asking. We're talking about the Game Pass thing.
Because where did you land on the Game Pass thing?
Me and Paris talked to the back half of Gamescast about it. So not to beat a dead horse, and even Greg Wade today's even more after I slept on it or whatever, of just what a fuck. I couldn't stop smiling talking about it because it's such a fascinating video game industry business quagmire of like, it's to the person on Gregway who wrote in, and is it actually appropriately priced? They had done all this math on what they've played, and they're still, even at the $10 more, way under what they would have spent. It's that.
Oh, gotcha.
And so what I love deconstructing and talking about with this is that literally everyone who hears the price and the increase has their own use case and then immediately goes, oh, that makes sense, or that's fucking highway robbery, or that sucks, but like everyone has their own thing for it. And so then the real fun step back to, satellite view is, man, Xbox, they fuck themselves on this no matter how you slice it. Just like it's a no-win scenario no matter what they do. Mm-hmm. Where they could stay there and lose money, they could stay there and not put more in, they could put more in. Everyone's going to be mad at some change. It's such a personal decision on, is this a good deal or is this a bad deal kind of thing. And so it's fascinating to watch that, but then be like, okay, what do you do with that as Xbox? How do you, what's going to happen? And like, listen to you guys on Games Daily, the site crashing, the people who are upset, the people who aren't upset, blah, blah, blah. Like, all I keep talking about in the Greg way is, I just want to know what they predicted was going to happen, and if we're still in that margin of error, or if it's gone way the other. Like, are we going to get, as you and Andy were talking about in Paris yesterday, the next week, we were wrong, sorry everybody, you know what I mean? We're trying, well, how do you, or is this all exactly what they planned on? Because again, like, if Xbox delivers on these 75 titles they're putting out in the next year, day one on Game Pass, and it suddenly becomes 3 months from now, 4 months, 5 months, everybody's like, well, yeah, I re-up because of this and that or that, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Like, I think there's also just the commitment you're asking people to play that many video games.
Yep,
and not that, like, not even saying that 6 or 7 video games is a lot, but for the average person who plays video games, it is a lot.
But this is, again, give me the documents, let me in the room. Is the average person buying Game Pass Ultimate? Is Game Pass Ultimate only being consumed by such whales already that they can see the stats of what they're playing, and they're like, these people would be the ones who would stick around, and there'll be enough of them that even if we lose a whole double-digit percentage of the people who won't pay this, and they go to that lower tier to keep the ability to play online, then they're buying the one game they want from us. That, like, there's so many. It's like, don't get me wrong, all of it too is gambling.
Oh,
all of this is looking at your lineup, looking at stats, and going, I think this is what would happen, but like, what a big gamble to take.
Yeah, I also think there's this, you have to expect a buy-in as far as the consistency of what you're putting out, right? Like, if I'm going to pay $360 a year for a service to play the video games that they're going to deliver to me, I have to have trust that what they deliver is going to be quality and be worth that $360 a year. Yeah. And like, this is to your point of, it's for each person to figure out for themselves. Yeah. I've not had a year with Xbox yet since having an Xbox where I'm like, yes, I would pay $360 every year to play the video games that you're delivering here, right? Sure. Like, especially on the first party side. Next year seems to be the big year. We're talking about Forza Horizon, you're talking about Fable, you're talking about Gears, you're talking about possibly a new Halo, and then whatever else you got in store. But you need to deliver that. Those are 4 games. You got to deliver those and then some to then equal that out.
I think, as always with all of these corporations doing this kind of shit, one of the things they have working against them at such an interesting angle is that they're a big fucking corporation who can't do cool shit. If they would have done this yesterday and done everything they did, but been able to say, we have 75 games coming day one to Xbox Game Pass, and here's 50 of them.
Yes.
Then I think you're in a way different ballpark of, of course, the dozen, whatever it is, Xbox Game Studios games that you'd expect with Keeper, with Outer Worlds 2, Gears, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But here are our partnerships that we're bringing. Games that you look at and you go, oh, yeah, I was going to buy that anyways. Oh, I was going to buy that on PlayStation. So actually staying here, let people do that math rather than what it is now where it's like just black. Because it could be great, it could be horrible.
That's my thing. Because there's somebody in chat that's like, well, it's not just first party though, and I think more so it is that first party plus the trust that the third party stuff is going to hit.
Yeah.
Right. It is the trust of, all right, what is that going to be? So if you're able to, like you said, back that up with, oh yeah, here's a list of what you're getting. That way you can make that educated thing of, oh, okay, well, I was going to buy all those anyway. I think the problem with me, at least from a personal perspective, and what I imagine people would be trying to figure out here is, then yeah, you are committing to playing just a lot of video games, and there are so many video games that are not for everybody, right? Most video games are not for everybody, and so there is a level of like, damn, okay, well, I know I'm gonna get the first party Xbox games; those are guaranteed at the $30 price point. Which
honestly, to just jump in for me is like the least exciting part of it.
Yes,
where it's like, cool. I look at the lineup and it's like, well, yeah, Outer Worlds and Forza and Keeper. But like Gears, no. Whatever this Halo thing they're gonna do, no. Like then it becomes the what about a Hollow Knight? What about what are those indies and double A's that I'm gonna be getting that at that?
Yeah. So and you look at that and like when you're looking at the things that are concrete, it is those Xbox things, and then it's Riot like memberships plus Fortnite crew or whatever.
I do like that. I do like the.
And
Fortnite.
like some people, that thing is like I'm not saying that nobody's gonna fuck with that, but you're casting a wide net and making that net very expensive.
Yeah,
for
no,
what you need to
100%.
do with it.
But if they could have done that yesterday and had a podcast with Phil or Sarah or whoever and be a human being on it, we're raising the price. Why? Well, value add and this, that, the other. But also, we've noticed that the number of people who play at this level already and play so many games, you know what I mean? Like, actually get into the things I want to know of why did you do this rather than just be like, here it all is, 3 tiers. It makes sense, right? And everybody's fucking mad.
Yeah.
Everybody's fucking mad. It went by already, but yeah, no, I think it was Christoph who was like, the PlayStation's biggest marketing push is letting Xbox open their fucking mouths. I like that a lot. We'll close this out because we're going to move on to some other stuff. Alex Frazier says, I'd pay $30 a month if they had consistently good games that were must play, but they don't. And again, we'll see what that means going forward.
I feel that. The weird thing though is that I feel like this year they have.
See, and that, again, let's get into.
But it's also like, what do you want? You know,
it's get into the use cases about it where you're talking about like, how much you use your Xbox in the past year or whatever.
Yeah.
This gets fishy with us because, of course, video game reviews and codes and stuff like that. I consider myself so in the Xbox ecosystem this year, not on my Xbox, on my ROG. Where it is the amount of times I've gone to do something, I'm like, wait, go to my Xbox PC app. Okay, I can do this here. I can play Blueprints here and send my save back to the Xbox. Play Hollow Knight here, send my save back to the Xbox. Like, that's my reasoning and how I've played so many more Xbox games this year. I guess Game Pass games this year. Yeah. Where I do, do you want a code for this game? I'm like, you know what? No, I don't, because it's on Game Pass. I'm set. Yeah. Like, I've done that a lot this year.
Yeah, I think for me too, I look at the games that came out this year, even though I would say this is a great year on Game Pass, but if I'm talking about value, I didn't play, even though it's a great year, I didn't play all those great games. You know what I mean? Like, I got to get back to Hollow Knight, but like, I'm not sure I'm going to play Silk Song all the way through. Like, I played Blueprints, I played Clear Obscure, and so those count. But then like, you to get that value out of it, you then have to commit to playing all those great games. And like I mentioned, not every game is going to be for every person. And so you just have to pay this price to trust that Xbox got you on the selection of games there that you're going to make up that price point, which I don't know. That's a big trust to have.
The other thing I talked about yesterday, but more in Greg way today, right, is the idea of like, I'm cheap as shit. So cheap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So excited when we fucking make the company pay for lunch here. It's great.
Yeah.
If I was on the outside and was doing this, I really feel like for me, and again, this is back to the question from the Greg way and everybody having a different of just like, it would be such one-offs for me. Outer Worlds is out this month. I'm going to do a month right now to save the $40 to play it. Now, again, that's a game I would burn through. Like if I was going to be like, I'm going to play this for the next 6 months, different question,
Sure.
you know, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But the way I consume games, I think it would be the same way of like, if I was on the outside, I'd be like, man, this indie is on Game Pass and that's cool, but I'm not going to spend for it and I don't want to buy it outright. Let 3 or 4 of those stack up and then do a month of Game Pass to play all of them.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, I guess it's just this is exactly what I imagine Xbox doesn't want people doing. Thinking so hard about how to use this system to game the system.
Yeah.
It was much nicer at $20 to be like, $20 whatever. I'll play, every month something will come out and I'll fuck with it and do whatever.
Exactly.
GameCat, specifically a white tiger, says, I don't understand all the words here. GP, which is Game Pass, offers no USP. PS5 is full of USPs. Portal, PlayStation VR 2, PS5 Pro. Sony made many blunders this gen like live service, but PS5 is my fave gen due to PSVR 2.
USP.
The USP.
Unique selling proposition.
Ah, thank you. That's a very businessy term I appreciate.
Yeah.
Hilarious that you put PSVR 2 on here. Hilarious that you put that.
Also hilarious when I just type in Google USP, what is that? I had to like look at the 2 first options and I'm like, okay, either he's saying unique selling proposition or he's saying US pharmacopoeia, which I don't even know. Hold on.
Ty Wilkins VO gets the final comment before we go to an ad break and says, that's true. But then I think we're talking about, I don't even know which part we're talking about. That's true. But then you have to deliver on dates. I ask, can Xbox do that? How many games did they cancel just this year? And what about games that are third party you can't control for their development? No, 100%. You're 100% right. And again, though, that's the way I would come at it of rather than preemptively purchasing Game Pass memberships, doing it reactionary wise of, oh, this is actually coming out. I know I'm going to play Fable and I'm going to get that. But again, maybe Fable's a game I'm going to play for dozens of hours. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm talking about. Go forward and you have to keep choosing and you have to keep thinking and nobody wants to do that.
Agreed.
If you want to give your money to something that rarely ever changes price, let me tell you about the Kind of Funny membership. For $10 a month, you can get all of our shows ad-free and get your daily dose of me, Greg Miller, and Greg Way. Today, I went for 24 minutes about this question, ranting, raving, smiling, wanting to be a fly on the wall. If you want to do all that, patreon.com/kindafunny, youtube.com/kindafunny, Apple and Spotify to pick up your membership. But right now, you're not using your benefits. So here's a word from our sponsors.
Kind of Funny Games Daily 2000 is happening on October 6th. I can't believe it. We are 2,000 episodes into this daily weekday show. Thank you so much for your support over the years, watching us live on YouTube, Twitch, podcast services around the globe. KindaFunny.com/store is where you want to go to get this shirt to celebrate Kinda Funny Games Daily 2000. But on top of that, it's not just the celebration of Kinda Funny Games Daily. It's Kinda Funny Games overall. We're bringing back some retro merch. Look at this. One of the fan favorite shirts from back in the day, of course, inspired by a portable handheld system we're not going to name, specifically, but you get what we got going on. And one of the most requested unreleased shirts that I used to wear all the time, you're now going to be able to get kindafunny.com/store. But hey, it's not just about merch. It's about celebrating 2,000 episodes of Games Daily. October 6th, we're doing a mega episode of Games Daily. Be hyped. Be there. We have segments. We have guests. We're trying to get 2,000 super chats. What's going to happen if we do that? You're going to have to tune in to find out. We'll see you there October 6th. Get your shirts. kindafunny.com/store.
GameCat in the chat did shout out in all caps Hitman VR. It's so clean, it cleans your eyes. I know you liked Hitman. Did you ever play Hitman VR?
First of all, I loved Hitman. All right, don't put that like word on it.
Everybody, I apologize. I didn't mean to misrepresent
I
Blessing.
fucking dare you. No, I never played Hitman VR.
It was one of those where it's like, I saw a clip of it the other day because I'm still on the PSVR subreddits or whatever, and it was like, damn, that actually looks awesome.
Really?
Because it was like, it's Hitman, right? But it's VR. So the dude rolled up, took his silenced pistol out of his pocket, threw it over a brick wall, then walked around to the security checkpoint, got patted down, went in, up, got his gun. And I was like, fuck, that's
so good.
really cool. That's a really cool use.
Can we put that on the stream? I would be so down.
Yeah.
I would be so down to play some Hitman.
Michael! I don't know if he's here yet.
That's
Probably
really
doing
cool.
drugs or double coffees, but you know how it is for him.
I mean, what's the difference?
You didn't find the clip immediately, did you? Okay, no, this is just a trailer. I was like, wait a second. How'd you do that, Kevin? That's fucking insane.
Okay, so yeah, this is straight up Hitman. Is chat, how is the gameplay different at all, or is it just that like your motion is determining what you're doing here? Because I want to know. Because that throwing the knife over the wall thing sounds cool.
Game Cat, let us know. You know a lot about this, apparently. Maybe this is how we get blessed back into this VR. You do an hour of this, 2 hours of Ghostbusters with me.
And then I throw up.
Moving on to story number 2 on the Roper Report. Starbreeze has canceled its Dungeons & Dragons game and is laying off 44 staff as it focuses on Payday. This is Chris Scullion at VGC. Swedish developer Starbreeze Studios has canceled its Dungeons & Dragons game and plans to lay off 44 staff as it shifts its main focus to the Payday series. The studio announced today that it will quote-unquote discontinue development of its D&D title, codenamed Project Baxter, which was originally announced in 2023 with an anticipated 2026 release window. Quote, following a strategic review, the board of directors and management have concluded that resources are best deployed to accelerate the growth of Starbreeze's flagship Payday franchise, end quote, it said in a press release. Some of the Project Baxter team will be redeployed across Starbreeze's other projects, quote, most prominently within Payday, but the studio also notes that, quote, headcount will be reduced by approximately 44 full-time employees across 44 full-time employees across employees and contractors, leading to a lower cost base going forward, end quote. The studio believes that by canceling Project Baxter and increasing its focus on the Payday series, it will become cash flow positive next year. Quote, this was a difficult but necessary decision, Starbreeze CEO Adolf Christiansen said in a statement. Our strategy is clear. Payday is one of the most iconic IPs in gaming with unmatched reach and potential. By focusing our investment in talent here, we can accelerate delivery, engage players with more content, and reinforce Starbreeze's position as the clear leader in the heisting genre. This is about sharpening our focus to create the strongest long-term value for our players, our people, and of course, our shareholders.
Jesus.
That's who I'm worried about right now.
That's
44
cold.
people out of work, but it's the shareholders we really got to be worried about, everybody.
I hate that. Of course.
Hey, what a shitty fucking way to end that sentence.
Very shitty wave. Kind of like a very cold statement, too. I understand that this is business or whatever, but yeah, like I read that, I'm like, oh, man, you just laid off 44 people and you're out here talking about what you got to do for the shareholders. And yeah, of course, our hearts go out to the people that are losing their jobs here. That always sucks. I know it always sucks to have a project canceled as well, especially when you're working hard on it and you have like a creative passion behind it. I'm a little bit fascinated by this, just in the sense of I find it a little surprising. I know probably the game probably wasn't coming together / like funds are shortening. But I find it surprising that you cancel a D&D game in 2025. I would have thought that like post Baldur's Gate 3. We see the acceleration of D&D games dramatically. I feel like that's especially compared to how did the last Payday do? I guess that's my question.
That was honestly what I was starting to Google around about. Not so much that, but the fact as we joke around about GameStop being on life support, the fact that Starbreeze is still here.
Yeah.
Do you remember how bad it was for them?
No.
They published Overkill's The Walking Dead, which was just a terrible video game. And it was literally like, I forget the exacts. It came out and Starbreeze was immediately like, oh fuck. And like they were on the verge of bankruptcy. I'm trying to get, I have in front of me a James Batchelor article from gamesindustry.biz pulled up. This is May 19th, 2021. Starbreeze 4.0, how the Payday studio escaped the brink of insolvency. CEO and the developers plan for the future. Like, I'm trying to, like, there's not going to be obviously a great synopsis. Maybe, yeah, let me just give you the first 4 paragraphs of this, okay? Like many a Payday 2 player, Starbreeze Studios has made an impressive escape. Not from the virtual law enforcement as part of a video game heist, but from one of the lowest financial positions a business can be in without collapsing completely. Following poor performance of Overkill's The Walking Dead, a title the Swedish developer had invested heavily in, the company found itself facing insolvency by the end of 2018. Starbreeze was granted a period of reconstruction, a measure in Sweden to give businesses the chance to course correct and ensure they are on the path to recovery. And after multiple extensions, it emerged in December 2019 with a plan to pay off its debts and promises of a new Payday on the horizon. By the end of 2020, the studio had paid off most of its creditors, and in March, it secured a 50 million euro publishing deal for Payday 3 with Koch Media. Understandably, the new CEO is feeling optimistic. Like, that's crazy. Because I remember reading it on Games Daily all the time, be like, this shit's cooked. It's over. They're not going to come back from this. The fact they came back, but now are laying people off again.
People in chat are saying that Payday 3 was a mess, and I pulled up the Wikipedia article talking about the sales portion of the game, where they say it starts off, Payday 3 became the 5th and 6th best-selling video game in the US and UK, respectively, in September 2023 when it launched. 1 month after launch, the player base on Steam plummeted, with Payday 2 having 10 times more concurrent players than Payday 3. In November 2023, Embracer Group, owner of Deep Silver, said that Payday 3 had failed to meet their sales expectations. And so for them to be like, hey, we're focusing back on Payday, that surprises me, and makes me think that, like, okay, well, this D&D game must have just not been going well, because, like, I feel like if I'm at a crossroads between focusing on a Payday thing or focusing on a new D&D thing, I'm going D&D.
Yeah, but you know how this industry is right now. Nobody wants to take a chance on anything that isn't an established IP, and it's got to be that argument. And I know we're saying D&D. I don't know what that exactly.
We don't know what it is. Yeah.
So it's like the name Payday in the title. Even maybe this is the return to form for Payday, or maybe you're adding more stuff into it to make, you know what I mean? Like, investors in your, again, and our shareholders. That's who we're really worried about here. So yeah, I don't think the shareholders want you to take a chance. They just want you to make money. Fucking insane. Speaking of shareholders, number 3 on the Roper Report, new EA investors will reportedly look to AI for cost-cutting profit boosts. This is Maddie Agne over at This Week in Video Games. Following the announcement of a private acquisition of Electronic Arts by the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund and investment firms Silver Lake and Affinity Partners, investors will reportedly look to AI for help in cost-cutting measures, according to a report from the Financial Times. Per the report, sources involved in the acquisition claim that EA's new investors are hopeful that, quote, AI-based cutbacks will give the company's profits a boost in upcoming years. This comes after EA was sold for $55 billion, of which $20 billion will be taken on as debt. EA CEO Andrew Wilson, who will remain in his position following the acquisition's closure, has spoken positively about AI in games in the past. Speaking at EA's 2024 Investor Day, Wilson stated that, quote, "This pursuit of innovation has led our games to be at the forefront of the technology curve. AI in its different forms has always been central to this creative journey. This remarkable technology is not merely a buzzword for us. It's the very core of our business. Beyond writing or coding AI to ensure the believability of our characters, we have always used forms of machine learning and AI across our games and processes. Right now, we have over 100 active novel AI projects across 3 strategic categories." It's one of those of like, how could you make the fucking news about EA, Saudi Arabia, and Jared Kushner worse? Oh, they're going to use AI as a cost-cutting measure, which is interesting for This Week in Video Games, the way they're framing it. When I had first read about it, it sounded like they were trying to use it as like cost-cutting in the back end of people working there, which I know is becoming a thing of like, hey, AI, how do we make this, like, how do we streamline and lay people off? Like, that's what I thought it was, but maybe inside the game, maybe it's both. It's probably both. And also, let's be honest, all 3 of these investment people or firms we're talking about probably have no fucking idea what AI is and how they could use it, but they know AI is the thing that they're going to keep talking about.
They know it's a buzzword.
We're going to use AI to
money.
do this.
Like, you put AI in a thing, and then the money flows in from shareholders or whatever. Even though I guess when they're, I was away during the whole EA news here.
It's not
they
good.
Went private.
Yes, they're going private.
They're going private.
This is all part. It's an ongoing thing. Yeah.
Either way, what was EA voted? That was like an insane thing. Was like
the most evil corporation, or the most evil company.
Which is funny because at the time,
and they got like 2 or 3 years in a row.
At the time when that was happening, I remember being like, man, that seems a bit aggressive. And even like over time, I think I became defensive of EA. Like I think toward the late 2010s, as they're putting out Star Wars Jedi and Apex Legends and Titanfall 2 and Battlefield 1, and it's like, oh, EA's doing good things out here. Like, oh man, they might be making a return. Like this might be the equivalent of like a wrestler appearing on a show after a decade and being like, yo, we're back to take most evil corporation. Like we're back. Give us the title.
Hey, you gave it to us when it was like, you gave it to us under false pretenses. Now we're here to prove we're going to be the most evil corporation.
Last time you gave it to us because of microtransactions. Now, oh man, we got Saudi Arabia, we got Jared Kushner, we got AI, we're gonna lay off everybody. Like, yo, give us the trophy.
If you didn't know, of course, Christopher Dring has a show called The Game Business. It's a podcast, but it's also a newsletter. It's somehow loosely connected to the Jeff Keighley stuff or whatever. Anyways, he's doing great work over there, deep dives on stuff. Today's newsletter I've read a little bit of on my way to work. I'd like to read a few graphs for you, all right? Again, this is The Game Business. I urge you to go subscribe wherever you can. It's a Substack. Christopher Dring, you might remember from gamesindustry.biz, now over there doing this. But it's called About That EA Deal. When the news was confirmed that EA was being sold to a group of private investors in a $55 billion deal, I had many thoughts. Most of them are around the possible synergies between EA and its future sister companies, the long-term implications of leveraged buyouts, and the future financial potential of Electronic Arts. But just writing about that seemed a bit incomplete. Because, as Joost van Duren wrote earlier this week, the numbers don't add up. And then he hyperlinks to something else, but we'll stick with here. The offer almost values EA at 20 times its annual cash flow. There's clearly something more at play. This deal is about Saudi Arabia. This is about using the cultural power of games to shift its reputation and perception both locally and internationally. This is about building up a game development industry within that country, and it's about the Saudis' history with the Trump administration, in particular Jared Kushner. Ultimately, this is about powerful men and regimes using our industry for political and economic gain. And then he goes parentheses here. And this because he's nailing all this. I want to keep reading if you don't mind. Parentheses, if you want to get a real understanding of this, I must recommend George Osborne, who is literally writing a book on this very subject. He's also just done a superb newsletter that I am sure you'll find informative, if a bit depressing. This one I haven't had the chance to read yet. This is Video Games Industry Memo is the Substack. You can go to videogamesindustry.memo.com to read that. I haven't read that one. I want to continue here. Just 4 more graphs. All of this does mean any typical business analysis is hard to do. There's a huge $20 billion debt that needs servicing as a result of this acquisition, and so you would expect to see some rationalization, parentheses, whether that's through redundancies or selling of IPs and studios. The instinct is to worry for teams like BioWare and EA Motive, which aren't making sports games or shooters and are working on single-player projects with less financial upside, namely Mass Effect and Iron Man. But this is a political deal. This is partly about changing a narrative. And what statement would it send to if these investors immediately started closing or hacking away at beloved game studios? Might EA's new owners want these teams to make things that aren't necessarily going to deliver huge returns, but could offer other political and cultural benefits? That thinking takes us to other political areas of concern. Considering the conservative leanings of this investment group, what does this mean for games like The Sims or Mass Effect, which are openly diverse? How involved will these investors be in EA's green light and creative processes? There is understandable fear around this deal across the wider industry. Consolidation hasn't been kind to the game business in recent years, but for now, all we can do is hope and see and keep close watch on what influence these Saudi Arabian backers might have on one of America's most influential entertainment companies.
Yeah. Oh, they hit the nail on the head right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I would worry a lot for the Mass Effects, the Sims, like even in Apex Legends, which is a game that has a lot of diversity in it, right? Like when you're talking about Jared Kushner and you're talking about the Saudi Arabia, I believe the PIF, right? Like Public Investment Fund. Like it is very much a cultural thing. This goes back to, was it WrestleMania? I know I'm doing a lot of wrestling references lately, but like I think WrestleMania had like Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. One of those like big WWE events had Fatal Fury advertisements like on the center of the ring. They had wrestlers coming out dressed up as Fatal Fury characters. And for me, as somebody who was like paying attention to Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, I'll tell you right now, that game is not big enough for that kind of marketing push. That game is not like of that level. But that game is an SNK game. SNK was bought by the PIF, right? I believe the Savvy Games Group, if they're still called that, right?
They are still called that,
Yes, like that was them throwing way more money than that level of marketing was worth because they want the cultural cachet. And they're doing this as a way to like get that cultural buy-in to then expand, I believe, like the culture of whatever they're doing. Like this is one of those things that's kind of above my head a bit in a way where I'm like, I don't totally understand it, but I can see it, and it's very plain as day that they're like, yo, we want to invest in video games because we want to invest in entertainment because entertainment is powerful for messaging and just being present.
So much of the Saudis' investments here and what you've seen so far, I think, in a public forum has been through the lens of sports.
Yeah.
We talk about WWE, WrestleMania is going over to Saudi
Cristiano
Arabia.
Ronaldo, like he joined the Saudi Arabian league because they threw a lot of money at him.
The boxing, all these different things, comedians. Mark Maron's been on a tear right now, tearing into all these comedians who are going over there to do this. In sports, what they had been calling it was sports washing. The idea here is that Saudi Arabia doesn't have the best public opinion, right? Because of a number of issues we'll read about in a second, just to remind you of it. But cultural, how they treat anybody who's in the LGBT community, how they treat women, how they treat journalists and murder them. That's all bad. And so the way they're trying to change their public image is by getting into all the entertainment things people like and then throwing money at those things so that when you come over there to these events, it looks like it's this amazing place full of amazing events and amazing things. It's why when you watch WWE, many of the PLEs, you've seen Saudi Arabia ads on there, right? And now they're doing one and they're going to do there. They've done, of course, Night of Champions over there where you see the women from WWE dress fucking chin to toe because they can't show any skin over there because that's the level of rights women have. I mean, there's far less rights for a Saudi Arabian woman, but I'm saying in terms, it's all these things. I want to go back to something I had pulled and put into Monday's Games Daily. If you have missed all of this and you don't understand what's really going on with Saudi Arabia, this is from game developers Chris Kerr talking about the EA buyout, but then giving you what I think is a great snapshot of all this, all right? The Sovereign Wealth Fund, which bills itself as a catalyst of change on its website, is chaired by Saudi Arabia's de facto ruler and crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman. As noted by the BBC, Mohammed bin Salman was linked to the murder of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi, who frequently criticized the policies and leaderships. Remember, of course, not just murdered, like hacked up. Like fucking sawed into pieces. Advocacy groups such as Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch have spoken out against Mohammed bin Salman and Saudi Arabia for, parentheses, among other things, attempting to control the media, restricting free speech, legally prohibiting LGBTQ plus relationships and gender expression, outlawing protests and demonstrations, and discriminating against women. Human Rights Watch specifically claims PIF, quote, has facilitated and benefited directly from serious human rights abuses linked to Crown Prince Mohammed and is being used as a tool to whitewash the company's abysmal human rights record. And then this is just, again, if you are like, man, this sucks for EA, fuck them. Remember that they're everywhere. PIF has heavily invested in the video game industry directly or through subsidiaries such as Savvy Games Group. Earlier this year, Savvy-owned publisher Scopely purchased Niantic's video game business and key franchises such as Pokemon Go. The Wealth Fund also owns stakes in Nintendo, Koei Tecmo, Capcom, Nexon, and Take-Two.
Yeah.
Like,
You're talking about big
sucks.
stakes. They have 8.3% ownership of Embracer Group as well. Hero Esports, they have a 30% ownership stake, right? Like, it goes deep as far as, and we've been talking, it's funny, we've been talking about this for years. I feel like every few weeks on KFGD, going back maybe like 5 years now, there's been a story of like, oh yeah, it looks like, Saudi Arabia, PIF, Savvy Games Group has like done a small investment here. Oh, they're doing another small investment here, right? And we like keep slowly bringing it up of like the context around it.
Yeah.
Now this shit is blown up in a way where it's like, oh, now they're buying EA. Yeah. They are partnering with Jared Kushner and his company to buy EA. Yeah. Like this shit has reached a fucking critical mass now.
And so what's interesting about it, like, I don't know shit, and who knows, I fall very much into what Christopher Dring's saying, where I think you're buying all this to hide the abuses you're doing in your country. Like, and so I think that, honestly, I think it will be status quo. I don't think they're going to step into Mass Effect and be like, no same-sex relationships. Sims cut down the diversity. Oh, yeah. I personally think they take their hands off the wheel. Maybe I'm just hoping, because that's, at least in this grand scheme of a fucked up future, we have the best case scenario. But like, I feel like they want you to think Saudi Arabia isn't horrible, even though it's clearly fucking horrible.
Yeah. I don't think they care. I mean, I think they'll step in and I think they will make those changes, but I don't think they think enough people are going to be loud enough to really take away from.
You think they will go in and knock out the diversity and everything?
Yeah. I don't think, because I think that they think that they're so powerful and that not enough people will be loud enough to where it'll shake up anything, right? I think they look at it and they're like, we have enough cultural cachet to do whatever the fuck we want, and so fuck them. We're gonna do that. Like the fact that they put Cristiano Ronaldo in fucking Fatal Fury as a playable character. Like they are putting their hands on these things. Like they are.
I mean, who knows? Nobody has the magic ball or the magic 8 ball here.
Yeah.
crystal ball. That's what I was looking for. To know what's
yeah.
actually happening in the future here. I just disagree with you because so far I think this whole campaign is to make them look like they're not those people. And so to step in and do that, like, don't get me wrong. Here's where it gets interesting.
Sure.
That's definitely the fucking Republican move.
Yeah.
That's definitely the fucking MAGA move of like, oh, like, no, we believe in, pursuit of happiness, but like, we're going to push our values and everything else on you.
Yeah.
Whereas this, for the Saudi part of it, seems like it's been, no, come here. Everything's fucking chill. It's a party. Have a drink. Have a thing. See a fight. Do a whatever.
Yeah.
Kill a journalist. Who cares?
But I think that's more so about like, I don't think it's that they don't want people to understand their values. I think they just want people to come tour. Like, I think they're doing this for tourism, right? Of like,
oh, yeah.
hey,
They want money. Yeah.
they want money.
Yeah.
They want, to be to be known as that. They want people to come through and spend money in their country. But I don't think it's the thing of like, oh, but we don't want you to think that like we don't like do what we do, right? Like, I think that's part of this is that I assume that the people that are in charge of this, like whether it be Jared Kushner, but even more so on the Saudi Arabian side, right? Like, I believe they're probably proud of this. They're probably proud of like the way they operate. They're probably proud of the culture. Right?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
so I don't think it's a thing of like them being like, we want to hide it. I think it's for them being a thing of like, yeah, but like, look how great we are.
Yeah.
Look how much money we have. Look how tall our buildings are.
I hate it here. Number 4 on the Roper Report, some good news that we talked about on Gamescast. Walton Goggins will appear as the Ghoul in Fallout 76. This is Jordan Middler at IGN. Walton Goggins is coming to Fallout 76 as part of the game's biggest update in 5 years. Goggin, who plays the Ghoul in Amazon Fallout TV series, will reprise the character in Fallout 76's next expansion, Fallout 76 Burning Springs. Players will explore the post-nuclear Ohio and meet the Ghoul for the first time in the video game series, fully voiced by Goggins. The new expansion is planned to release in December. The Ghoul will provide new bounties to players throughout the expansion, but won't be available as a companion. Paris and I played this in New York. We did a Gamescast yesterday. The first part's all about that. Second part's all about, what we've been playing, but then in Game Pass. And a lot of Game Pass stuff, of course.
Of course.
But yeah, it's really cool. I think it's a great addition. You can hear me on Gamescast talk about playing it and all the other new stuff they're adding to this.
Neat.
Number 5, KPop Demon Hunters join Fortnite with Demon Rush mode. This is Tom Phillips at IGN. Fortnite has now announced full details of its expansive crossover with Netflix movie sensation KPop Demon Hunters, which IGN reported yesterday launches fully this week. Aside from owning Rumi, Mira, and Zoe as new skins, Huntrix, right?
Huntrix.
I like just saying Hunter, but they put the extra. Huntrix will also be the star of their own in-game mode and pop up in core battle gameplay royale. Core Battle Royale gameplay. Launching today, October 2nd, and available until November 1, Horde Rush Demon Rush sees players team up with Huntrix for a new version of Fortnite's fan-favorite Horde offering. In the past, the mode was traditionally arrived alongside the game's main Fortnitemares event. This year, however, the newly retitled Demon Rush has had something of a makeover, fitting both the Demon Hunters themselves and Fortnite Chapter 6's wider demonic theme. I have been eagerly anticipating this because I love the movie. And then, of course, Ben is super into it. So last night, right before bed, I saw this pop and I showed him the trailer.
Oh,
and he was
cool.
like, there's a K-pop video game. And I'm like, well, they're in Fortnite. And he's like, how can we play it right now? And I was like, I don't think so, Ben. We'll play it. I think it comes out this weekend. Every game comes out Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
That's when games come out for us. So
This is why I can never hate on Fortnite.
Yeah.
I know people are like, it's just fucking marketing formed, like, fucking formed together. We're putting everything in everything, right? And like, I get it, and I'm actually kind of with you. But if I was a kid who loved K-pop Demon Hunters,
Yeah.
and you're telling me that now I can play as them in the video game that I already probably like and play a lot with my friends,
yeah.
man, good for them.
Yep.
Good for the kids out there.
Exactly. Damn. Big Bad Beluga says they dropped $35 in the skins last night,
Oh my
waiting for the
God.
songs now. Fuck me. Is that really how much it costs to get all these idiots?
You want to I'd take it back.
This is what I'm talking about, where it's like, man, why didn't they start the Xbox Game Pass Fortnite crew 3 months ago? I would have had all the credits I needed. I would have been ready to go.
There you go.
Bless. K-pop Demon Hunters coming to Fortnite is huge news. Big news.
Big news.
But if I wanted something smaller, say the tiniest news I need to know about, where would I go?
You go to our last news story, the Wii News channel, where you cover all the small news items you need to know about.
Number 6, Wii News, just 2, from game developer Disco Elysium developer Zaum has established the first recognized workplace union in the UK games industry. Good for them. From This Week in Video Games, slot machine roguelike Clover Pit has now sold over 300,000 copies in 4 days. It previously delayed its release because of Hollow Knight Silksong. Good for them.
Hell yeah. Good stuff.
And that's it for Wii News. Of course, we ask you to super chat to be part of the show. Many of you have. Let's see what we can get through in a non-topical fashion. Alex says, is Ben too young to enjoy Skeleton Crew? Oh, that's Star Wars as well, I imagine. But Barrett, I don't know what that is, but I know it's Star Wars. It's Goonies Star Wars. Oh, is he too young for it, though? What do you think? Is it a cartoon? Is it a cartoon? Oh. Live action? Huh. They make a lot of Star Wars stuff.
They do.
Alex J. Sandoval says, could you say again who made the custom saber? Thanks. Justin T. Mars, who you see in our chat all the time, makes amazing lightsabers. Lucy Dream says, chance for a KF Marvel Studios design shirt reprint? There's always a chance, but no plans. RSC Raptor Face says, birthday tax. I'm turning 35 again. Thanks for being rad. This is it? This kid's doing stuff in Star Wars? Do any of them have lightsabers?
They can't see it.
Okay.
It's just for you.
Do any of them have lightsabers?
I don't think so, but it's supposed to be fun.
lightsabers?
I don't know, man. Remember at the end of the one movie, the one kid started doing
you know
the broom with the Force.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's like, I don't
fair.
know.
Yeah.
Give the kids what they want. They want lightsabers. That was Ben's whole thing watching episode 4. He's like, where's the
Greg,
fucking
they got
lightsabers?
an elephant kid.
But they've got an elephant kid. They got a cyborg kid. She's pretty cool. She's pretty neat.
Is it a movie or a show?
It's a show. And it's got what's his face as maybe a Jedi? Question mark? Forget his name.
Kumail.
Who's the guy from Stick With Me here?
Jude
Gattaca.
Law?
Jude Law.
Oh.
That's my touchstone for Jude Law.
What was it?
You said Gattaca? I would have said he's in Captain
Gattaca's
Marvel.
good.
That's what I would have said.
Yeah, I would've
would've
said
took
Captain
it.
Marvel.
I would have said like the guy who cheated with his nanny, or he was in fucking Captain Marvel. Jude Law, you know? We don't talk about him enough for a reason.
Happy birthday. All right.
We just said it right now. Optimistic92 says money for Greg's Deadly Class shirt. Thank you. I love this sweatshirt. It is nearing the end of its life cycle. It breaks down. And so it was supposed to be like just a wear on the house sweatshirt, but today I was like, you got to get out there again. Let's go.
Get out there. You're getting off
Hard to Find says, I buy a few Game Pass codes at one time to avoid things like this. I do the same with Nintendo and PlayStation. I have to pay rent, Microsoft.
Smart person right there.
I'm going to start speeding through people who are coming in late to talk about this. Red Hudson, grateful for Kinda Funny and the KFBFs. Mental health has been rough lately, and Kinda Funny always helps. Long live the champ Team Blue 4 Pete incoming. You know it. You got good taste. We're sorry it's been rough lately. Hang in there. I can't say it'll get better. But I mean, how much worse can it get? We'll find out.
I don't ask that question because the world will find a way. But I'm with you. Feel better, please.
I'm just a Billy says, late to the chat, but is GeForce Now the best deal in gaming after Game Pass price hikes? You can listen to me and Paris talk about that at the end of yesterday's Gamescast, where we bring that up and I start playing Starfield using it right away. Wow, it's crazy, huh? I mean, Bam has a nihilistic view. It's great y'all are talking about this, but like WWE thing, no real consequences happened to them when they went to Saudi Arabia. People are going to still play and buy EA games. Well, if you say that and just give into that, yes. It's also... This is a much larger conversation.
Yeah.
This is a much larger conversation than we have here at the end of Super Chats.
I mean, not to be nihilistic, but I think there is an element of, I agree to some extent.
Agreed.
It's as far as like what the world is like, right? What the population of, even like we're just looking at our country, what the population is like, right? Like fucking Donald Trump won the popular vote this time. Like I think there's a reality to.
Well, he's going to lower the price of eggs on day one, don't forget.
Of course. And he's going to run for the third term. When
people want a dictator. It's what I've heard.
Yeah. I think there's an element to that, but also I would say, yeah, don't stop fighting, right?
Yeah.
Like I would say, hey, like we still got to be vocal and we still got to, fight for what's right, fight for what's good, even though that sounds like I'm quoting some High School Musical shit, but
yeah,
being honest,
we got to
like,
stand on
yeah.
we got to stand on what we believe in and go that way. And so then you get into this whole system though of like with this and what's happening and when this goes through, like, okay, but then we got to watch what they're doing. Again, I don't know. I am notoriously naive and stupid and believe I've proven time and time again, I believe in the good in people far too much. But like, as I look at Saudi Arabia, and I see them pulling like just Lex Luthor shit, I really just don't see them coming in and be like, Mass Effect, no gay shit anymore, all right? Like, and because I feel like if they did that, then that would be the blowback in our space. Because the idea here is to sneak into all these different levels of Americana in the world and be like, see, it's totally chill, we're fine, we're just making money.
We already have that view. We already are like, oh man, they're doing evil shit over there, right? Like, I think
so. The best way to do it is not to do the evil shit no more.
They're not gonna do that. Like, they're gonna continue to do the evil shit, and we're gonna continue to talk about it, and they're gonna continue to go, all right. But most of the people, like, don't care. Right? Most of the people just want to live their lives, do their thing, like, live in ignorance and do that. And that's how we continue to be here.
If the good news is if they start stripping the diversity and themes and the compelling narratives out of all these games, they're going to be dog shit, and no one's going to look at that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, sure.
We won't have to talk about these games because everybody's just fucking hate them.
Yeah.
Purely GT Super Chat says, I find it likely that EA Studios will comply in advance and just start adjusting pitches to reduce diversity, LGBT, etc., without the new owners needing
one other thing I'll throw in there is that, like, I think I'm even less worried about, like, as far as how this stuff affects the content on the Saudi Arabia side. I'm more so on the Jared Kushner side of, like, what he's going to do to this shit. I'm like, I think they're way more in tune of, like,
strip out the gay shit.
Yeah, like, if a Mass Effect comes out and there's a bunch of gay shit, I think that will make them go, oh, close down that studio. Like, we're out here canceling Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert. I think they'll take out, like, I think they'll keep an eye on the content is what I'll say.
Yeah. Jenny send Nuggies is sneaking in a birthday tax. Love you all. We love you. Happy birthday. Bam. 2018 WWE started the deal. 2027 WrestleMania. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. WrestleMania is coming up. Mm-hmm. And then George says, for Greg, with the Saudi Arabia stuff and multiple ties to the Trump administration, how is it affecting your WWE fandom? Oh, I mean, not positively. Do you see wearing a lot of WWE shirts or talking about WWE that much anymore? It's like, what a fucking bummer.
I haven't watched a lot
Triple
of WWE.
fucking H and Stephanie McMahon and Linda McMahon in the fucking Oval Office or the White House, I forget, fucking saying, like, and this is an administration that will let cancer go on. They cut the cancer funding. Now they want to use AI to do cancer research. What the fuck are we talking about? He was going to lower the price of eggs, though. Half of Project 2025 already done. But he didn't know anything about that. Don't get me started.
Like, imagine being efficiently evil. You know what I mean? It's like, man, at least suck at it.
I fucking can't stand the president.
Uh-huh.
But I would at least have a modicum of respect if once he got it, he was just like, by the way, I am the bad guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Stop fucking still acting like you're the good guy. We see it. You suck.
Yeah.
You're bad. You're the bad guy. You paved the Rose Garden. What the fuck are we doing? And don't get me wrong. Don't take that out of context. That's my number one problem with President Trump and this administration. We're going to stop Games Daily. I can't fucking do this right now.
Video games, you know what I mean? They out here.
Seeing if anybody
October's a big release month, guys. Lock in. We gotta play Hades.
No. These were all jokes or things we've talked about and you're wrong or whatever before. Ladies, gentlemen, NBs, I won't lie to you. It's bad out here.
It's bad.
It's real bad. But we have each other, and that's what Kind of Funny as a community and a best friend group is all about. So you can lean on each other and talk to each other all the time. Don't worry about that. Play games with each other and have fun. Don't take your eye off the ball, though. That's what they want you to do. I don't know if you know this. The president is in the Epstein files, but every time the Epstein files come up, he does something more outlandish to fucking throw you off of it. Because I'm looking. Alcatraz still isn't reopened. That was a threat, if you remember, that was going to happen. Super cool, too, that my family's in town for Ben's birthday, and they're like, we should go to Muir Woods. And I was like, oh, yeah, you got to get a reservation. Went to the Muir Woods website. Oh, yeah, there's a government shutdown, so you can't do that. Now, do I need to remind you that the Republicans are in charge of every branch of government? No one is standing in their way. And then they're like, but the Democrats are the reason. Man, fuck everybody who voted for this guy. Thank you. It's a good Games Daily. Until next time, fuck off. Jesus fucking Christ.